and welcome to Lord Pog Gaming. I'm your host, Lord Pog, and you honor me with your presence here. Before we get started, let me do my shameless sales pitch. If you're new to my little corner of the world, then I'd be honored if you could leave a like on this video. It would really bless me if you did. And don't forget to share the video too, as it helps my channel grow. Plus, if I got you feeling a type of way, go on ahead and subscribe too.
Your daisy if you do.
As you are all welcome here. Everybody's voice is welcome here, as we share our love for gaming. Oh yeah, and don't forget to sign my guest book. That's what I'm calling my comment section, and go ahead and ring my bell for notifications too. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about all this. You know I don't like to harp.
Well, I don't like to harp on a subject,
I don't
but
care. It comes with me, never have. That's why they call me gregarious.
And with that, let's get on with the show. So in a recent episode of my Psychology and Gaming series, I talked about liminality, and the difference between said liminality and what society often perceives as liminal spacing. Any of you golden wonders out there who might be interested in listening to me pretend to know what I'm talking about? For you, I'll leave a card for that here. But basically, I draw a difference between the two. Then talk about how we as people are perpetually in liminality on a daily basis.
You expect me to believe that?
And so on and so forth, and that there's a difference between liminality and liminal spacing and how we're constantly stuck in the two. Anyway, so as to not have static imagery on the screen, I used gameplay from an odd little duck called Babbdi. Now to be clear, other than mentioning how liminal its design is, I never mention it again in that video. But that's not because it's a bad game. In fact, it's rather good, if not a tad off-putting. Also, I haven't done a free games on Steam review in a while, so here we are.
I made you some content, diving into your favorite open wide.
Also, for those of you in the know, I swear I'll finish the third video in my retro review series of the 4 best RPGs of the Sega Genesis.
you liar!
So stay tuned for that. But moving on with this video, the story of Babbdi is deceptively deep, without strapping a neon sign to itself as an indication of its depth. Seriously, while so many AAA games these days are swinging through the tall forests of social commentary,
Yoinks! And away!
making as much noise as possible in case we, the audience, are too stupid to get what they are trying to say, only to mostly fall flat, since the most thought-provoking commentary doesn't actually take sides. Mostly. Babbdi doesn't do this, however. Instead, it chooses atmosphere and the less is more approach in its storytelling, all the while assaulting the player with what appears to be a war-torn Eastern European city that, for all intents and purposes, is the embodiment of liminality. The player controls a nameless protagonist who just wants to leave the city of Babbdi, but the only way out is by obtaining a train ticket. And that's it. That's the story in a nutshell.
This is me in a nutshell. Help! I'm in a nutshell!
As stated before, the story seems pretty basic on the surface, yet Babbdi is more than the sum of its parts. Babbdi has seen better days. Its colors are muted grays and earthy tones, with splashes of greenery here and there. The people you meet on the way are either depressed, pointlessly vibrant, or just pointless altogether. Despite all of this, everyone is odd, without rhyme or reason for their being. It truly feels like being trapped in a dead space. As one of the commenters of my liminality video said, a room without purpose is dead space. And I wholeheartedly agree, as a room stuck in transition is stuck in liminality. Babbdi seems to be a city without purpose, stuck in transition, transfixed in liminality, and so has become a city of dead space. What's interesting is after gathering footage for my video, the game stuck with me, digging itself into the folds of my mind.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
For the life of me, I couldn't understand why. I mean, why did I feel this urge to finish this particular game all of a sudden? Did I really want to finish it? Or was it that I didn't understand its purpose? That is to say, why Babbdi? Why does the city exist? How did it get in the shape it's in? What is that oil the dude is stirring in the manhole? Is the church abandoned? Or did some still have faith in this seemingly forgotten place? And why in the blue blazes are those people in the sewers just vibing? One of them only speaks Spanish, and he feels the need to tell you his whole life story and why he likes the music he's grooving to while speaking to you in Spanish. Now, I'm half Hispanic, so I pretty much caught what he was saying, but I don't speak fluent Spanish. So I had to work at it a little bit. But I just found the whole thing odd. It was an odd little interaction. See, Dark City is one of my favorite sci-fi movies.
Mr. Buck.
And to see that Babbdi just sits in a giant hole surrounded on all sides by an endless ocean, where the only thing keeping it from flooding is the fact that the walls of the city are just a dam, it caused my heart to flutter a bit. Since if any of you Golden Wonders out there have seen Dark City, then you know what I'm talking about. But I digress, as I don't want to spoil the movie. Seriously though, you should watch it if you haven't watched Dark City. Mwah, chef's kiss. I only bring this up though because as you explore Babbdi, you're trying to figure out how to escape. You'll find various types of items. Some are helpful, while others are just there, like the trumpet for instance. I must have walked all around looking for that one NPC I'm supposed to Ocarina of Time for, only to find that the trumpet, as far as I can tell, is just there to play music. Why? Well, the trumpet's very existence in the game is a prime example of what I'm talking about. It just is. The trumpet exists because the trumpet exists. I did find this weird device that allowed me to fly around the city, so I thought I'd discovered a secret ending. I flew to the top of the city walls thinking I could escape the city this way instead of finding a train ticket, only to be met with an endless ocean on all sides and no hope of escaping that way. Eventually, I figured out how to escape, and I beat the game, and honestly, if one knows what to do, Babbdi isn't a very long game. It does have hidden collectibles and side objectives for one's own inner completionist, which gives the game a slight amount of replayability. Yet at the end of the day, for me, it was all about discovering why. Why does this game exist? What is really going on here? After beating the game, I was not given an answer, leaving my brain in this mind-bending liminal space of thought. I had to know why. I had to be able to move on. So, like so many others, I took to the internet for some sleuthing.
Doilies.
And while I can't say I found a concrete answer to my state of quandary, what I found is probably the best answer I'll ever get. I'll bet it's still not an explanation. It did serve to help me understand why I felt the way I did, though, as I'm not stuck in this liminality anymore as a result of it. I was reading the reviews for Babbdi on Steam, and I came across this one by a user whose name I'll not mention. But they did say, perhaps Babbdi is an enigma to the Western mind, very surrealistic and weird, Why are the buildings so tall and random out of shape? What's up with the people just hanging around doing nothing? What is the information building anyway? But to the Euro-oriented mind, post-Soviet mind, if you will, Babbdi just clicks. It makes sense. Of course, the map layout is as random and passively hostile as it is. How else could it be? And of course, people sit at the foot of gigantic, out-of-shape buildings that, to the uninitiated, seem to be polluting the sky. What else would those people be doing? Truth is, there are no games that have captured the feeling a child experiences in this environment. People will refer to stalker games as the de facto Eastern European experience, but this game reflects how a child feels in a brutalist concrete forest far better than any other game I've encountered. And that alone makes it very, very special. What else can I say to that? They are right. My draw to Babbdi was a subconscious need to understand a world that I never truly can. As an American from the States, I've never lived in this world that the OP is speaking on. To them, Babbdi makes perfect sense. And I'm only speculating here, but it seems they themselves have seen something like this in their life, while folks like me have not, and probably won't in my lifetime. Now, does that make my experiences any less? No, but it does mean that I have to have the wisdom to know that the questions plaguing me were unanswerable. So I had to let them go and cross through that liminal space. Regardless if I would ever find the answers I seek or not, much like cosmic horror, some things are just beyond comprehension, and for some, it will only drive one mad if they pursue them. And that's my Steam review of Babbdi. It's free on Steam if any of you Golden Wonders out there are curious about giving it a shot. And if you do, come back and tell me about it in my guest book. Sit a spell and tell me about your experience. Maybe you were able to discover more than I did. And if you've played Babbdi, tell me about it in my guest book. And what was it like for you? Did you like it? Hate it? As said before, all voices are welcome here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ring my bell. And I want y'all to know, and I mean this with all my heart and soul, I love you and you honor me with your presence. Y'all come back. Stay golden.